she says, more than healing trauma, I'm interested in exploring unblocking energies, breaking less ideal behaviors and I guess thought processes. So how does microdosing help with focus, motivation, and improving those mental habits?
Well, I think, Lou, you can speak more on the microdosing part of it, but I'll say that part of what you're saying here, I'm interested in exploring unblocking energies and breaking less ideal behaviors is part of the healing trauma, because you say more than healing trauma. So those energetics that are part of the learned self that you're talking about here, which are like your blocked energies are something that have been learned over your lifetime. So healing trauma and bringing balance into your experience is really where you're going with these medicines. But Lou, how does microdosing help with focus, motivation, and improving mental health?
In our case, when we do, when we do private consultations, which by the way, you can always come to our site and sign up for private consultations. They're completely complimentary. But microdosing primarily, it's in the formulation of using an active psychedelic, psychoactive blended with lion's mane, because lion's mane, when it's really well extracted into a drops, is exceptionally good for focus, brain fog on its own, But I think when you're elevating mood, what we have found is when you're helping someone elevate their mood to temper the anxiety and minimize overreacting to triggers that escalate on unhappiness or distress or happens all day long, the microdosing is very effective. What I think people need to keep in mind is when you talk to practitioners or people right now, the key issue, of course, is the source, the quality. Psychedelic, particularly psilocybin, comes with many strains. Each strain has got different nuances for different intentions. Setting intentions are very important. People don't realize that right now botanical science it's attracting a tremendous amount of talent. So there's a lot of great work being done in formulating plant medicines. Not all of them psychoactive, many of them medicinal, not all of them in the illegal, non-regulated. Some are totally available, so the range of opportunities to personalize microdosing to different types of plants and mushrooms is exploding right now. Really a lot of great work, I think that and then when things are blended, you can get the elevation of the mood, you can get more focus. We Amy and I was just talking, I think earlier today, one of the issues that we facing right now is some people, it's not a mood issue, it is a deeper issue, deeper working through trauma. The self-love, I think I'm really hearing that from Amy tonight of let's start with me being, if I can use it, being a bit more selfish. Selfishness around caring for oneself. It's thrown around, but it takes courage to love yourself, and be the person that you really can be. We've been conditioned, but all these medicines that are starting to be developed, they're not just about mood. Grief, heartbreak, heartbreak you would handle completely differently than mood. When somebody's really heartbroken or lost someone they've loved, grief isn't always about the mood. It's how can I heal? My heart hurts.
Yeah.
And very often people will repress that and suppress that for years,
Mhm.
because maybe they feel guilty or they're ashamed. They wanted to say something to Papa that they just didn't get the time, or
Yeah.
something's lost tragically. The grief is heavy duty now, really, really happening. So I don't know, Amy, in your case, it's really the really matching up the intention with
Yes.
with with remedies, and not, don't get over micro analytics around, oh, well, microdosing means psychedelics. It doesn't mean, and nothing to do with psychedelics in the spirit in which Amy and I and others are trying to push forward. It's about personal growth, healing, loving. And we realize we don't need everyone. We just need enough of us that we can build community and be working with each other and caring for each other. Sorry to take too much time on that, but
Oh, that was beautiful, beautifully said. And like it is about, I mean, we also throw self-love around so much throughout
yes,
the day.
yes,
It's like, and until you feel what it feels like to love yourself, that term means nothing. And that's what's important about this like experiential wisdom you have with these energetics, with these plant medicines, is that you're gaining an experience so that you have something to tap into when you don't feel like loving yourself, and that's why these are called tools. And something that Dominique said when she said breaking less ideal behaviors, that requires self-love, that you loving yourself through those less than ideal behaviors is how you're going to break those behaviors, because you become aware of those behaviors. Oh, I see how I've done that. Oh, I see why I have that. I see how that was useful at one point for me to use that coping style. And now that I feel good and I know myself, I know that I can either reparent or, bring in this experiential wisdom that I felt on these plant medicines to really facilitate myself through this in a different way, rather than going back to old patterns which haven't served you or are not serving you any longer.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
for sure.